We are live. Wes, did you make sure you was logged in on your account?
No, I'm actually logged in. I'm still on yours, I think.
Okay, I don't think we're live on your page. I didn't highlight your page when I went live. Can you do that from your end?
Let's see. I've got it's showing. We're showing live on 4.
Yep, that's me. That's the Real Fisherman live stream, Lake Wiley Catfish, and YouTube.
Let's see if I can edit it. Yeah, here we go. Let's see. I can go live on the Chain Gang, Striper Fishing in Tennessee. Let's see. Wesley Rose. Save changes. It says it's loading, and that's all it says.
Tonight's show is on. What did we label tonight's show? Social media.
Social media and fishing.
And fishing.
Yeah.
I tell you, the days of billboards and television are over.
Yes,
you got all these in the fishing industry. You got all these different levels of pro staff, and getting sponsored by a lot of these smaller companies. Haircut looking clean. Well, thank you. I don't know who that is. It just says Facebook user.
Might be.
Yeah, it's getting to where. Did you guys see that video posted by, I think his name's Milliken? The YouTube channel is Milliken. It's called Exposing the Fishing Industry, and the guy's talking about how these corporations are buying these smaller companies, and how it's ruining the fishing industry. Did you see that, Wes?
No.
You didn't?
No. JR, right quick, I've got us now on the Chain Gang. Let's say I've got us on your page, the Chain Gang page, my page, Striper Fishing in Tennessee, New School, something. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're on 7 platforms right now.
Well, basically what he was talking about was allowing just a handful of companies to own the entire industry. Yeah. Kind of like how Strike King bought a bunch of small companies, basically to try to put like smaller companies like Zoom out of business.
Yeah. I thought Zoom was bigger than Strike King.
No. It says that remove this. We got to remove this destination because it's the fishing in Tennessee. It wasn't.
Oh, okay. Let's see here. Let me click on it. Let's see. Fishing is having trouble. Remove. Okay. Remove. Okay. How's that?
So far, so good.
Okay.
Let's see. Strike King makes damn near a little bit of everything. Yes, they do. Yeah, I remember. That's one good thing about the catfishing industry is we get a lot of it's I think it's the fastest niche in the fishing industry. So you got a lot of smaller companies. Granted, they're getting their product from China, but still, they're building a brand and they have pro staff and they're supporting. So you got a lot of guys that are supporting several small companies. I have, you can look behind me here. I have a tube from Anvil that I haven't even opened yet. And the owner of Anvil told me, he was like, "Hey, I'm going to send you some product, make us create some content."
What is Anvil?
Anvil's a rod brand.
Okay.
And he told me, he said, "Listen," he said, "make all the content you want for as many companies as you want. I'm not going to try to, say that you have to be restricted to just our company. Make all the content that you want for the industry. That's fine, and that's the way everybody should be."
Well, we talk about like made in China, blah blah blah. hell, what ain't made in China? You know, I only know of one reel. I know of one reel, and I've got one that you said you loved. It was the Siegler reel. Guy in Virginia makes them.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only reel that I know of that is 100% USA made, parts manufactured, made in the USA. It's the only reel that I know of on the market that is. There may be some more. Whoever's watching, you know, if y'all know of any more, and I'm talking about completely USA, everything, nothing made overseas. You know, and then everybody talks about made in China, made in China. Well, you know, I'm a big Shimano man. You know, the good Shimano stuff, you know, when you get above $300, when you get $450, $500, $800 for some of these reels I've bought, they're made in Japan. So at the end of the day, whether it's made in China, whether it's made in Japan, it's still foreign. You know, so it's like I guess you're picking the lesser of the evils, but from my understanding, Japan, just stuff is made better. They take a lot more pride in their work. It's not, I don't know. I heard it saying one time about Japanese cars. The reason Japanese cars run so many miles is, you know, you might have a family that'll buy a car, and that car could be passed down to 2 or 3 generations. You know, 3 different families, generations of family drive that one vehicle. That's why they make their cars the way they do.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
You know.
You know, the show, we're kind of getting off track a little bit. The show was on social media and fishing. You know,
I guess the social media too, how they're pushing. Social media is pushing all our fishing stuff.
Right. Is it good for the industry? Is it bad for the industry? I can't help but think it's good for the industry. I know when it comes to Facebook, and not just Facebook, other platforms, there's a lot of jealousy. But there's also a lot of like camaraderie, a lot of, you know, there's a lot of banter, in other words.
And I've met a lot of people on Facebook. I've met a lot of good friends on Facebook.
But you've also met a lot of haters. There's also been a lot of haters.
Yeah.
You know, when you see someone doing good, you see someone posting pictures of big fish, posting videos of big fish, having success. You know, we tend to get a little jealous. We tend to have, you know, envy takes over. You know, we're all human, you know, and we say things, but some of us know what it takes to post those pictures of those big fish. You know, what people don't see. People don't see us at the gas station pumping $150 worth of gas in our trucks and boat at 4 o'clock in the morning when it's 30 degrees. They don't see all the sacrifices that you make to make that success happen. Go ahead.
You know, touching kind of on what you said, I ain't never been jealous of what another man does as far as especially fishing. You know, I like to see people catch fish.
Not necessarily jealousy, but the desire to be at that level.
Oh yeah, you always want to do better, but I ain't never hated on nobody because they caught bigger. Hell, there's a lot of people catching bigger fish and more fish than me. I don't hate on them. I try to learn from them. That's right. The ones I really want to be friends with.
That's right.
Yeah, and there, you know, there's always been this big stigma, especially on Facebook, talking about social media. You know, people say, well, oh, you hired a guide. You're doing the easy button. You're fishing somebody else's pen. You're asking for help. What's wrong with asking for help? Does that make you a smaller person? You know, I mean, it's okay to help people, but I mean, you know, if a man calls me if somebody calls me out of the blue, I don't really know that much about, hey, I seen you catching these fish. You're doing this. No, I'm not going to tell him where to go fish. But, you know, some of these guys that I see on Facebook, they're on there every week. They're going fishing. You know, they're struggling sometimes. And I get a message. I used to get a lot of messages when y'all don't striper fish no more is, you know, yeah, I'll help them out. I had a lot of help. You know, there's nothing wrong.
Even though you've gotten help, you've still suffered through and made sacrifices to align yourself to have success. You know,
I think and this is my take on this. I think your success or my success or really anybody's is how much you love it. The more you love what you do, the more successful you'll be at it. And I believe that with all my heart.
Absolutely. I give Scott Perry, the Chain Gang, a lot of these guys, they've given me a very hard time over the years. It's mostly teasing. There's a difference in teasing and bullying. I think a lot of people they fail to separate the two.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes people confuse me with bullying. I had a guy at work come by me the other day. He's like the clown at work, kind of like the class clown in school. And he come by me and he was like, "There's JR, online bully." And I was like, what is he talking about? He's obviously seen me giving somebody a hard time on social media.
Yeah.
But what he doesn't understand is it's teasing, it's camaraderie. There's a difference, like me and Dieter Bellhorn, for example. I tease Dieter all the time. I teased him today. He made a video today, or he posted a video today of him cutting up some chicken. And I commented, I was like, early morning, cool background check, full frame camera check, good audio check, making a video about a bait video on chicken check, something like that.
Yeah.
And he liked it. Now whether or not he thinks I was being a hater, he may have, he might not have. Surely he knows me by now, but I kind of like I like critiquing my way of camaraderie when it comes to social media and fellow fishermen in the industry. Is I like to critique their content, and I'm not being a hater. I just I like critiquing it. Because I'm also a creator, so I'm not saying that I could do it better, but I do like critiquing someone else's work.
Well, and we're talking about social media, and I know Facebook, a lot of stuff gets blown up. I'm one of the first ones guilty, really guilty. A lot of stuff I did in Tennessee, I would go live. But at the end of the day, I think Facebook has really hurt fishing as far as it's made a lot of people lazy. A lot of people like to fish on Facebook. They don't go out and try to find fish. They won't even go out. They won't even go out unless they know exactly where a fish is. I call them couch fishermen. But I think one thing that to me has really hurt the striper industry, especially over the last 20, 25 years is, like when my grandpa striped, my grandpa one time had the South Carolina state record striped bass. Back in his day, and people after him, Terry.
That is insane, Wes. How did I not know that?
Oh, I thought you knew that.
No.
Yeah, he had the record. Tiny Lund broke my grandpa's record.
Wow.
The race car driver caught the 55-pound striped bass in Santee.
Was that Tiny Lund or was it your grandpa?
No, that was Tiny Lund.
Oh, okay.
He was a NASCAR driver. Then he went back to driving, put number 55 on his race car. I think he raced another year or two. Then he quit racing and went down to Monk's Corner, opened up a guide service. He had the striper fever. But anyway, back then, these guys caught their own bait. There wasn't no bait shops. You didn't just pull up. You didn't just pull up with a bait tank and have them. You pay them and they fill your tank full of bait and you go fishing. So I'm thinking about, like, right now I'm trying to go fishing Thursday. I just stepped outside. Right now at my house I'm showing 35 degrees outside. It's supposed to get 24 degrees here in the morning. Mm-hmm. Can you see getting up in the morning, 4 or 5 o'clock, even earlier, going out there, throwing a net, hands freezing, trying to catch bait to go fishing. Mm-hmm. That I think we've got it really, really easy now compared to what it was in the old timers. And that's another reason so many people striper fish.
Well, I'm gonna have to disagree with you a little. I'm gonna have to push back on you just a little bit there, Wes, because I still do that. I never buy bait.
Well, I'm just talking about in general. The majority
when I striper fished, I did 99% of the time I bought my bait. Yeah. But when I go catfishing, I catch my own bait every time.
Yeah.
I'm not but if I did have a bait shop local, the closest bait shop I got around here that sells catfish bait would be Jamie K, and I'm looking at an hour drive to get there.
Yeah.
I mean, I would probably be Jamie K's number one customer if he lived, 15, 20 minutes or even half an hour, but an hour's pushing an hour.
Yeah.
That's just a little too much. I mean, especially if I'm going somewhere that's opposite the direction of Jamie K's. You know, if I was going to Watery, you know, Jamie K's not a big deal. I could stop by there and get bait. Maybe one day I'll start fishing Watery. But I think as far as like social media is concerned and having success on social media, you have to get extremely familiar with the body of water. And what better body of water to get extremely familiar with than the closest one to your home, to where you reside? And for me, that would be Lake Wylie. That's why I know Lake Wylie so well. That's why I've had so much success on Lake Wylie and you know, in years past, is because I spent so much time out there learning how to catch my own bait and, you know, catch big fish. But I tell you what, it would be nice if I had some bait to buy. I would probably fish more often.
Well, I honestly believe if all the bait shops close down tomorrow, all your striper fishermen, you know, and I don't know about the cat fishermen, because I always thought you bought catfish bait in a grocery store. You buy a bucket of chicken livers and some couple of packs of Kool-Aid and some chicken gizzards.
Yeah, absolutely. If you can, if you want to, you can. If you want to go catch small catfish, you could go, if that's what you're after. But you know me, I'm not after small catfish.
But you know, no, all seriousness, General, I still believe way over half of these people that striper fishing now, if they had to go catch their own bait, they wouldn't fish. You know, because there again, you know, then you got you don't find bait, you don't fish. You know, I mean, you don't find bait, you don't fish. So, like I said, these, yeah, hey, Chris, I'm with you. Yeah, catching bait is fun. But if you get a lot of money in a trip and you can't catch no bait, you don't fish.
Oh, Pete said, too many goddamn keyboard fishermen these days not wanting to put in the work and make their own report.
That's right.
You know what I say? If you can comment on here, you can get on here, Pete. What's up? Come on.
But
catching bait is fun, Chris, for sure. Because for a cat fisherman, catching bait means you're going bass fishing, or you're going crappie fishing, or you're going perch jerking. You know, that's, you know, 90% of the time, you know, that's what you're going after. Is, you know, if you don't know where to go net some shad, then, you know, you're having to use rod and reel and go catch some daggum, use a sabiki rig and catch some perch, crappie, or brim or something like that.
But you know, you can back up, JR, and look at this. Say you're, and there again, this is most cases. Every now and then you put your boat in the water, and especially now when you've got, you know, you got the live, everybody's got the Garmin live. You're going out trying to find bait. You know, it's not that hard to find if bait's around. But look at the time you spend catching bait. Whether if you've got bait, when you put your boat in the water, you get a whole lot more fishing time with bait in the water than you do if you have to go catch bait and then go fishing. So, you know, there again, like I said, I just don't believe way over half of these people, if they had to catch bait, would not striper fish. Me personally, now, when I first started, I would have, but they had bait shops. I didn't have to learn how to throw a net. But right now in the morning, if somebody said, Wes, you got to go catch bait or you can't go offshore Thursday. Well, guess what? I ain't going off fucking shore. I'm not getting up trying to throw no net at 5 o'clock in the morning, freezing to death to catch some bait to go fishing. I'm not going to do it.
Well, you know, the good thing about offshore fishing is you can always catch some pinfish, you know, little beeliners. You can catch some bait, you know, saltwater fishing. There's always something that you can catch to use for bait. If not,
hold on. Hey, Pete, get on the Wi-Fi in the motel, man. I know the airline.
Yeah, that's the first thing I said. He obviously doesn't want to get on here.
Yeah, he just don't want to get on here.
He's making excuses. So
if you got your cell phone in your hand, what's in your other hand, Pete?
No, I took last week off, so he's at liberty to take this week off. That's fine. You better be on here next week, though.
Yeah, but you were sick.
I'm still sick. I'm actually more sick now than I was last week. Like it just hit me last week. It's like I am full on. I don't know what. I'm taking medicine every day, man. It's
Chris Hovis. Chris said Verizon's better than any cast net. But Chris, that's good until you get up there in the Tennessee mountains.
He says that. But I mean, what does he mean? Is he basically just referring to Tennessee? Like, why is everyone stuck on Tennessee? Nobody cares.
No, I said Tennessee.
Okay, well,
I'm saying when you get in the mountains and you ain't getting no signal, Verizon or any other phone ain't doing you no good.
Yeah, but I mean, he's talking about calling someone and them putting you on some fish. He's talking about Tennessee. That's all he wants to talk about is Tennessee. Like, who cares? There's fish other places. There's other things to do.
No, he said it's the same around there too.
I mean, to a much lesser extent. Yeah, I guess. I mean, really, all you got to do, like for example, Lake Norman hybrids. All you got to do is go out, wherever all the boats are. That's where the fish are, and it's not that hard to any lake. That's the thing about you striper fishermen is they're not native to the reservoir. They're not reproducing in the reservoir. They are being stocked by the Department of Natural Resources. Most of you guys are some hardcore far right, on the political spectrum. You're so far right, you want less government. But when it comes to fishing, you want more government. You want the government to stock your fish for you. And all you got to do is just go out there and use your graph. I mean, you can have a graph from 1998 with just nothing but 2D sonar and go right around the main channel this time of year and mark some fish. You can find some fish because they're stocked. They stock several 100,000 a year in there. They're not hard to find. You know what the water temp is. The water temp's down in the low 50s. They're either in the backs of the creeks or out in the main channel. They probably done moved back out into the main channel. So start zigzagging the main channel, looking at your graph until you find them stacked. Put your bait down, some shiners that you bought at the gas station, and wear them out. You ain't got to call nobody. It's not hard. It's not rocket science. Everybody acts like it's hard. It's not hard. The hardest thing about it is getting off your butt when it's 30 degrees and going and spending the money on gas to get to the lake and making it happen. That's the hardest part. Once you get out on the lake, you got the bait, you got the resource, you got the tools to make it happen. It's not hard. It's really
I'll tell you, bud. And there again, when I was making trips to Tennessee, I've had primo bait, had the boat, fishing. I fished a couple hours. If I ain't getting a bite, I'm calling somebody. When I've got $700-800 invested in a trip plan up there,
but Wes, you are talking. You're talking about trophy fish. Huh? You're talking about trophy fish. You're not talking about meat fish. You're not talking about going and catching a bunch. You're not basically crappy fishing.
I drove to Tennessee for one fish, one bite.
That's right, one bite.
I know that sounds crazy, but
no, it doesn't to me. Nope, that's me all day. I'd much rather catch one big fish than 1,000 little fish.
But and there again, talking about Facebook. I made a lot of friends on Facebook. And most people, I think most of these guys starting out striper fishing, crappie fishing, catfishing, even largemouth bass fishing, they're starting on Facebook. If you're trying to start, I mean, think about it. Anything you do, if you're into racing, you're into sports, you're into baseball, you're into basketball, you're into football, you're into fishing, you're into golf, you're into hockey, you're into tennis. There's something on Facebook for everything you do out there. So when people starting in something, the first thing they're going to do, they're going to look and see who's doing it and see what they can find out on Facebook. Welcome to social media. Damn, Gerald, what are them 8-foot rods?
I don't know. Ryan Spivey said, he said, how many anvil rods you get? I said, I don't know. I haven't even opened it yet. Let's open it and find out how many I got here.
Gerald, we got 18 viewers. Don't start showing a bunch of catfish shit. We'll lose them. Damn. Chris Hovis, why don't you bring your little short ass on here with us sometimes? Chris will stir the pot and get it smelling good and shitty, and then he'll get off here.
Dory won't let him.
Ooh. Damn, Chris, you hear that? What did he say? See, he's already stirred the pot. Now he's gone. Look at him.
Ryan Spivey, the answer to your question is
1.
2. It looks like 6. These are some.
Catch the Fever never sent you 6 of anything.
No, they did not. So I'm gonna have to do my due diligence to make some very some high quality content for this.
Well, go offshore with me Thursday and bring 2 of them. Let's see how they hold up bottom fishing.
Check that. Is that not sexy? Oh my goodness, look at that.
That's a rebranded Catch the Fever, ain't it?
Huh?
That's a rebranded Catch the Fever, just a different Chinese tag.
No, it is not.
Let me show up.
That is a sexy rod, dude.
What actions are the JR?
The action on these are, and I don't know if they're all the same. Let's see. It says "Forged for the Fight." That's their motto. This is a 7'6".
Damn.
Looks like heavy. 2 to 16 ounces. 20 to 60 pound line. These are these can handle it, brother. This is a good company. This is a very good company. Good.
Do they just make catfish stuff?
Yes. But I don't know. They their brand is Anvil. It's not catfish rod. So
you know why they named it that, don't you?
I do not.
You know what an anvil is?
Of course.
That's why it's tough. It's steel. It's hard. It's almost something that's unbreakable. You can beat steel on it. You know what I'm saying?
I could have swore. I think Anvil has been around for a long time. I think this is an old brand that someone recently brought back to life. I think Anvil's been around a long time. Kind of like Lew's. Remember Lew's fishing reels? They were great reels, and then recently someone bought that brand, and now they're selling new Lew's reels again. They didn't sell Lew's for a long time.
What did the rod say on it? Forged in what?
Let's look again.
Forged to do something.
Forged for the fight.
You know what forge means, don't you?
Yes. Heated
what
up.
Does forge mean?
Heated up, beat on, made stronger.
No. Forge means to form something.
It's more than just to form something, because like forged pistons are stronger than hyper-pneumatic pistons. It's a stronger type of steel. It's been put through a process where they've heated it and made it stronger.
Exactly. What did they do that on?
An anvil.
There you go. Kevin Manny, how you doing, Kevin? Kevin's watching tonight. That is Chuck Manny's brother. But yeah, like I said, social media is, I don't think it's really, I think it's did more for fishing. I think it's been better for it than it has been bad for it.
It has been. I think what gets on my nerves is everybody's trying to teach, and I've been guilty of it myself. I remember I went fishing in Tennessee with my buddies Lacey and Alan, and we were making a video, and I remember Alan saying, "Stop trying to teach." He's like, because he was down for making a video, and I was getting some content, and I was talking, and he interrupted me and he said, stop trying to teach. Stop trying to teach. So basically what he was saying was, make a video, because you don't have to verbally teach people. Like, they can learn from watching your video and seeing you do the things that you do. Kind of like, that's one thing that irks me with Dieter, is he wants to teach. So all his videos are like marketed toward like beginners. Stop marketing toward your videos toward beginners, because marketing them toward advanced fishermen is marketing them for beginners. Because when have you ever, okay, for example, if you look at a Yeti commercial, or you look at a what's another brand, Engel, Yeti, GoPro, like any of these major brands that are in the fishing industry, none of them are marketing to beginners. Like, when you watch a GoPro ad, it's skydiving and like extreme snowboarding and like deep sea, sky underwater footage. Nothing is for a beginner. It's motocross. This guy's doing
I see a
backflips
lot
on.
of stuff marketed that says beginner friendly or user friendly.
Right.
When it says user friendly,
That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, like today, Dieter's video of cutting the chicken up. He was saying, I'm cutting these in small pieces. I'm taking the whole pack of Jello and just do it. Like, we can see what you're doing. We don't need you to teach. We can see what you're doing. Just make a cool video. Stop trying to teach. Stop trying to market it toward a certain niche. If you stop trying to market it toward a certain niche, what you'll end up doing is marketing it to a much broader amount of people, multiple niches.
A broader spectrum.
Yeah.
Use those high-tech words like you used to use, Junior.
Yeah, there you go. Christopher Hover said, I'm out. He stopped in for a minute. Now he's out. He wanted to come in, stir the pot for a second, and bounce. That's fine.
But now TikTok. Is TikTok is there a lot of fishing stuff? Is it really?
Yes. TikTok's more your short form.
Yeah.
I think what people are starting to realize is basically everybody in the United States or in the world has ADHD, and we don't have the attention span or we'd prefer for you to wrap it up in 15 seconds if you could. And that's basically what TikTok has done. And it works, and that's why you see, YouTube went to YouTube Shorts. Everybody's got this short form media. Man said niches. Tic-tac.
And that's kind of like what you just said. Talking about kids, like my grandchildren, when we buy them presents, birthday parties, especially my granddaughter. My grandson doesn't. My granddaughter's really bad about it. Say she's got 10 or 12 presents.
Yes.
She's opening this present and looks at it, and she can't even appreciate that one, what she's got, or appreciate it. It's already thrown to the side. And another one picked up, opening it. Another one thrown to the side, opening it. Another one thrown to the side, opening it. And when I was a kid, if I had 2 or 3 presents, I might open one, and I'm just sitting there and hey, I love this. I can't wait to play it. My granddaughter looks at it, throws it to, listen, we took them shopping last week, and I bought them we went to Sam's, and I bought my grandson a little, like a Ryobi, little Ryobi battery power tool set, and I bought my granddaughter a little kitchen. In fact, here it is right here, a little cooking set with a little toaster. It's got a little timer on it and all that stuff. You know how long they played with that shit?
About 30 seconds.
For about 5 damn minutes. I spent $100 on, well, $90-something on toys. They played with them 5 minutes apiece, and they were right back outside. Said they were bored and wanted something to do. So there you go.
I don't know who. Why is this not on New School Fishing on Facebook? I don't know. Let's see. Who
Dieter,
is?
won't you come on, Dieter? Come on here with us. I'm gonna send you an invite, Dieter.
I don't know who Ron is, but I think someone. Let's see. He said, "Can I get an amen and a rest in peace for cameraman Ron, who just passed away?" So sorry for your loss. I don't know Ron. Do you know Ron, Wes?
I sure don't, buddy. I'm sorry for your loss too, my friend.
Dieter's watching on YouTube. He said, "Why is this not on New School Fishing on Facebook?" I created a New School Fishing page on Facebook. I don't know, probably a couple of years ago. I don't ever use it, Dieter. I just kind of ignore it. I don't
Dieter,
know.
you got an invite. Get your ass on here. We're talking about social media, and that's right up your alley. You and JR to be real good at this.
Yeah, we were talking earlier, Dieter, about social media. We were talking about jealousy, and not necessarily jealousy, but people wanting to let's see, what did I say?
Haters.
The desire to be at someone else's level. And I think once you once you learn once you do what it
I'll be
takes,
right back.
okay. Once you do what it takes to be at that level, once you're at a gas station pumping gas at 4:00 in the morning when it's 30 degrees, and you learn a body of water and you put the time in to have some success. Once you learn what it takes to have some success, then the jealousy it goes away. And then because then that the sacrifices that content creator is making to be uploading that content. But I was telling Wes that there is a lot of good like banter and camaraderie in the fishing industry when it comes to social media as well, and that can get confused for bullying. And I was telling him, like, my relationship with you, how I like to critique your videos. That's a form of camaraderie. It's a form of banter. It's definitely not me bullying. It's me. I appreciate what you do, but I do like to critique because I'm a content creator as well, and I like to judge other people's work, even though I'm not active. But I totally understand the conversation. You have to listen to everything and learn from everyone. Yes. I don't know who you are, Facebook user. Tell me who you are. Because it just says Facebook user. Oh, Dieter came on. There he is. Hey, what's going on, Deet?
What is up, man?
Social media, the social media aspect.
It's exhausting. I'm kind of coming in half-assed, unprepared here. I thought you used to do this on Facebook also. Am I wrong?
Yes. No, we're on Facebook. We're on my page and Wes's page.
Oh, it's on your page. Okay.
Yeah, and we're also on live. What is it called? What's our Real Fisherman live stream group? But yeah, hey, man, buddy, it's exhausting. Social media and being a content creator like yourself is extremely exhausting. Tell the truth.
Oh, you're asking me? Absolutely. No, absolutely. Now, I just come off of it's my 6-week sabbatical that I take every year for deer season. It starts sometime in mid-September, October, something like that. And I just deer hunt. I don't create any new content. Everything that is posted has already been created early in the year. And like you said, it's exhausting. It is as you, JR, pushed back on when I originally said this 5 years ago, it is a job. It is a business. And it truly is. I think now that you've messed with it long enough, you realize that to really get it to any type of a level, it is a job. It is a business. It is a significant investment of time. Now, you don't have to do that. You can do it for the hell of it. You can post whatever you want to. And Matthew Anthony is a good example. Great fisherman, catches fish, catches crappie, catfish, good fisherman, but
he is a terrible example. He is not a good example.
No, he's a good example
of what?
He's a good example of this. Somebody that just does it to do it. He doesn't really try to make his content any better. He doesn't try to make it appealing to people.
First of all, how old is Matthew Anthony? Isn't he a boomer?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure Matthew Anthony's in his 60s.
Hey, let's not be a racist now.
No,
don't be. Don't be. Yeah,
definitely not. Being a racist. I might be being an ageist when it comes to social media.
Don't age shame anybody.
That's right. Hey, I'm
listen. Props to Matthew Anthony, but Matthew Anthony is a boomer. He's going to put a GoPro up, and that's it. Now there are certain levels.
That's
hold on a minute, Dieter. JR, wasn't you just talking about doing stuff simple instead of trying to talk through everything and explain?
Well, when I say simple, you need good. It still needs to be quality content. You still need. You still need a good image. You still need good audio. And
why?
You need to be telling a story. Even if you're not using audible vocals. You still need to be telling a story with your actions.
I disagree with you on that, in that if you're doing it just to be doing it because you just want to post some videos of what you're doing, there's nothing. That's what I'm saying.
Nobody's doing it just to be doing it. Everybody is building a brand.
I don't believe that.
You don't have to be running a business, but you're building a brand. Matthew Anthony is even Matthew Anthony is posting content in hopes of building a brand.
I disagree. I don't think he's doing it for that. I think it's probably more of a bragging board.
He's not doing it for nothing. If he was doing it for nothing, he wouldn't be doing it.
I did it for nothing.
He's doing it for something.
No, and that's where I think you're wrong. I think some people do it, one, just to throw it up there, two, as a bragging board, a platform to. There's a lot of people that post content. There's a lot of people from our catfish tournament circle locally, and we know who they are, that the only time you see anything from them is when they're catching fish and catching big fish.
Let me explain.
And that's just a bragging board. And I'm not talking about.
Doesn't know how to market himself. If Matthew Anthony had a friend or a family, a relative that could come in and market him, kind of like Dale Earnhardt. Do you think Dale Earnhardt held a camera up and done vlogs and talked to the camera? Like Dale Earnhardt would have never been on camera if it weren't for someone that knew the marketing advantage there was to videoing the guy, because Matthew Anthony is a hell of a fisherman. He puts big fish in the boat consistently, but he doesn't know how to market himself. You can't tell me if I were to befriend Matthew Anthony, if I were to go down and start going to the lake, calling him up, hey man, when you going fishing, being down at the boat ramp when he was there, hey man, you mind if I hop on the boat and film you?
Don't threaten the man. Don't threaten the man.
I'm just saying that he is highly marketable, and he is relegating himself to putting a GoPro 3 up in the corner of his boat with absolutely horrid audio, and that's why he's not having any success. Just like you're the opposite end. You're the opposite end of the spectrum of that. You're giving us too much. Like, we don't want to be taught. You're teaching. You're trying to treat everyone as if they're in kindergarten.
Well, you got a lot of people that don't know what they're doing to watch that.
No,
exactly.
I mean, you do.
Exactly.
But Dieter could broaden his niche if he would stop
Listen, let me talk about
so
this.
much.
Listen,
He needs to stop teaching so much. Like the chicken video today. The chicken video today, he talked the entire video. He needed basically he at most he needed to say like one little sentence. That was it.
When I bought my boat and went down to
circle back to that.
When I bought my boat and went down to Myrtle Beach and started fishing, I started, just like everybody starts with catfishing. I had to start on the bottom too, and I started with sharks. So when I Googled shark fishing in Myrtle Beach, I wanted to find out everything I could about it. Guess who popped up?
Who?
Dieter Melhorn.
Of course.
And
he was tickling the algorithm at the time.
But listen, I watched his whole video. I listened to everything he said and watched everything he did. Mm-hmm. And when you don't know nothing about something, and then there again, it's just me. If you're beginning in anything, and I understand what you're saying, Junior,
I'm just saying he could stop targeting such a narrowed down niche. I think that if he would just stop trying to
that's where I think you're totally wrong.
He would stop trying to target the ABCs. I think that he would grow even faster. Like Dieter is putting more work in than anyone in the industry. Dieter's popping up. How many Dieters are you doing? How many Dieters? How many videos are you doing a week, Dieter? How many videos are you uploading a week?
I'm doing one a week right now. I'm doing
right now. Yeah. On average, in the past 5 years, on average, how many videos a week have you put on social media?
2 a week.
Okay, so you're putting multiple videos on social media a week.
Yep.
Okay, you're growing. There's no doubt. There's no denying that you're growing. But you're not growing exponentially. You're not growing as much as some of these other creators that aren't working near as hard as you are. And the reason is because they're not, some of them, not all of them, some of them are doing the same thing you are, but so they're not niching down to being an elementary ABC, trying to teach. Stop. My thing is, I think you should stop trying to teach, because we don't want people in general we love Dieter. We want to watch him fish. We want to see what he does. We don't need you telling us, okay, a perfect example. You are the Neil deGrasse Tyson of the fishing industry. I love Neil deGrasse Tyson, but he's a little condescending in how he talks to you. Do you know what I'm talking about? Okay, I digress.
Is it my turn to talk?
It's your turn.
Okay.
Hold on a minute, Dieter.
Go ahead.
No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead. I'm just messing.
So, JR, listen, I wish the analytics reflected what you just said, because
how do you know? You've never tried it. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Finish.
I mean, go ahead. Finish.
Nope.
Go ahead and get it all out.
I am stepping down. It is all you for the next 3 minutes. You have 3 minutes. It's all you.
Yeah.
This is a debate. Hold on. I'm going to be the moderator here. Hold on. Let me get my clock. Okay, I got the clock. Dieter, Mr. Milhorn, you got 3 minutes.
I've taken the affirmative. We got Wes is the moderator.
Mr. Cochran, Mr. Cochran,
we're listening to Dieter's rebuttal.
Minutes. Go, Mr. Milhorn.
Yeah. I wish the analytics reflected what you just said, because it would be very nice to go into more complex stuff. The analytics show something totally the opposite. It shows something that people, and there's Taylor coming in.
Taterbug. Is that
Taylor.
Taterbug?
That is Taterbug. Hey. Oh God, we got Christmas crap.
Oh my
Okay,
goodness.
good.
That's a little Christmas monkey. That is awesome.
Nice. All right, give me a kiss. Love you. Mwah. All right, thank you. All right. So, love you. Bye. So the analytics show something totally different, is that people want the basic stuff. The biggest majority of people out there watching want basic elementary content. It's why I have totally turned my back on the tournament world. Tournament world represents around 4,000, maybe 5,000 anglers nationwide. It's a very small group of people that are focused on catching trophy fish, catching fish to win a tournament, trying to win a tournament. There's nothing that appeals there. The biggest thing, and I need to do more of, and I wish I could, I need to commit more time to it, is the bank fisherman, the guy who is fishing off the bank, who is just trying to find a place to wet a hook and catch a fish. I wish it was more of the complex technical stuff. To a certain extent, people will watch it, listen to it, but the basic stuff with and by the way, the short that you're referring to, I think is from a video last year or something. That is some artificial intelligence generated content that we are trying out that has got pretty dadgum good traction in the 5 days we've been doing it. It's pretty amazing what the I didn't edit any of that stuff. Artificial intelligence. You give them the video, they put it together, you change a few things in it, and it figures out what the common man wants to see. And that goes back to what you were saying earlier about some of the stuff with what people are watching, what they're interested in, the short form content. People want long form too. Don't get me wrong. Trust me, but you got to present it to them in a way that will keep them entertained for the entire time. I'll go back to what I was saying about Matthew Anthony. I think Matthew Anthony is a great fisherman. I don't think he gives a crap about creating great videos. I think he does it because he wants to do it and he's throwing it out there. And by God, there's nothing wrong with that. I did that in the beginning. For me, I wanted to do something more. I figured if I'm going to put the time into it, I wanted to do something that was a little more challenging. For him, dude, and it's no slam on him in any way. The dude can fish. He's done good in the he doesn't fish tournaments. He's fished a few. He's done great in the ones. I think he even won the one that Patriot James had going on. great fisherman. If he ever decides he wants to do that, dude, I think he could do great. Change a little stuff around with some cameras and some editing, and boom, he's got some good content. Does he want to do that? I don't think he does. I think he's having fun doing what he's doing. So I got my 3 minutes in.
Wait a
Y'all's
minute.
turn.
All right, it's over
Where's the
3
horn?
minutes. All right, so you said that the
He's taking
5,000.
notes.
You said the five. Yeah, I have to. You said the
I love it.
5,000
I love it.
tournament anglers.
Yep.
How many people you think watched the Red Crest that weren't tournament anglers?
The Red Crest.
Yeah, the Red Crest, one of the biggest bass fishing tournaments in the world.
Oh, the bass fishing thing. Okay, so
Uh-huh.
we're okay. Let's compare apples to oranges for a minute. That's a good analogy.
It's not apples to oranges. It's in the fishing industry. It's another species, but it's 100% relatable as far as content creation is concerned.
Mr.
Okay.
Mr.
Okay.
Milhorn, Mr.
It's
Milhorn,
probably-
you're
it's
cutting
probably-
into Mr. Tupper's time.
It's probably proportional to the number of people that watch the Big Rock Marlin tournament.
No, there's. I don't know.
It's
but
probably
I'm
proportional to
guessing.
the amount of people or money that was paid out for the White Marlin Open.
I'm guessing it's way more. I know Brian Thrift, I think, won it last year. I think he won $500,000. That was just for first place. And, it was televised. I think it was on ESPN. Was the Marlin tournament that you're referring to? Was it on ESPN?
No, but the payout was significantly higher.
Okay, well, it wasn't on ESPN.
Probably.
If it wasn't on the ESPN, then I'm
three
imagining
times,
that it had.
I
There
think
were
3 times as much money was won in those Marlin tournaments.
there were less people intrigued or interested if it wasn't on ESPN. I mean,
I agree with that, but the amount of money won, you mentioned that a lot more money is on the table.
and you
in those Marlin
mentioned
tournaments.
you mentioned you're experimenting with AI with the video. You said it was
Oh, we're
from
gonna
last
shift
year.
gears. Hang on. Let me turn and go in this direction now. Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, you were experimenting with AI. I didn't see any AI. That was nothing but if you're referring to some type of editing software, then I guess if you want to call that AI. But this AI, what we refer to AI today is when we're
Mr. Copper, your time's up.
where's this horn blowing? Where's this horn blowing coming from?
Y'all got 3 minutes apiece on the floor. That was your time. You had 3
Oh.
minutes.
Oh,
All right.
is that what the horn is? Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you had traffic outside the house.
Listen,
I'm
Matthew
sorry.
Anthony wouldn't have went out and bought a GoPro if he didn't want more. Okay.
That's your opinion.
No, that's a fact. I mean, if somebody doesn't want to be seen, then they're not going to record themselves.
Want to be seen and actually rising to a higher level and gaining notoriety are two totally different things.
Oh, he wants notoriety. Everyone does.
Let me ask y'all a
Maybe.
question.
Maybe.
Who right now? Who is the most
Basically, what I'm
who
saying
the
is
most well-
you're saying a bunch of stuff, but you're offering absolutely nothing to back it up. You're saying that the algorithms are preferring basic, people teaching basic stuff. And how can you prove you're not? No, they don't. Look at your most famous, look at your most successful content creators in the fishing industry. They're not telling you how to tie a snail knot. They're not telling you how to make Jello chicken. They're fishing, and people are watching them because you learn from watching people. People they don't want you to tell them. They want to see something
Well,
that's
JR,
cool. They want to recreate that. How they'll figure that out. They don't need you to tell them. They want to see you do it, and then they want to be like you. You don't need to tell them how to do it. They can see you doing it.
Well, what about the people there again? Let's go back. I had to watch videos. I guess you'd call them dummy videos. What Dieter's putting out on how to tie an Alberto knot. When I started offshore fishing, because I wanted to know the best knot to put mono.
Okay, well that's fine to throw that in every once in a blue moon. That's fine, but that doesn't need to be the primary focus of your content. That's all I'm saying.
I guess it just depends on who you're basing your content.
That's all I'm
towards,
saying.
man.
I want to see Dieter backing his boat down. I want to see him I want to see him out on the lake. I want to see him fishing. He's too worried about trying to teach people when really all we want to do is watch.
Would you remember that?
We want to hear you talk. Don't get me wrong. We want to hear you talk, but we don't want to hear you telling us how much Jello to put in a baggie. We want to hear what you're thinking. You know, what are you thinking about that day? Or are you thinking about football or what? You don't have to be teaching the whole time. We just want to watch you, man.
Let me know when you're done talking.
He knows I'm right. He can't argue with me.
To ask you, not to leave, to ask you if you know where her Alexa is.
Well, you know, you remember that video, one of the last videos we did offshore?
Yes.
You wanted me to, you know, the bait, the way I rigged that Wahoo bait up, because it wouldn't rig for dead bait, but I made a dead bait rig out of it.
Her Alexa.
I think so.
You remember where I put the wire up through the eye of the hook?
Yes. Yes.
Ain't that like a learning video? I mean,
Yeah, no, it is. It is. But that wasn't the primary focus of the video.
oh no,
That's kind of what I'm getting at. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm getting at. I don't know who this is, but
All right,
Dieter.
you
I
done
don't know who
talk?
this is, Dieter, but he says that you got your panties in a bunch.
I had more important shit to listen to.
Oh my goodness, we have Dieter saying 4-letter cuss words.
There you go.
We're going.
Wes,
somewhere.
what were you gonna say?
Wes was talking about an offshore video that we did and how we got in the video how he bent the wire to hold the ballyhoo on a ballyhoo rig, and he was saying, well, you know, that was a teachable moment. That was a educational, and I was like, yes, but that wasn't the primary focus of the video.
Well, yeah, what videos I've watched to Dieter, and you know, I don't look at the dates on them. They wouldn't all that I seen just like trying to show somebody every step. But there again, you got some people.
I agree.
you have to
I'm just
show them.
critiquing Dieter. That's one of my hobbies is critiquing Dieter.
But you know, you got a lot
Dieter,
of people. They have to be shown everything.
Did you see Milliken's latest video of I think he titled it "Exposing the Fishing Industry"? Did you happen to watch that? It's went viral.
No, don't watch it. Don't watch the channel.
Okay, well, it's viral. It's all over Facebook. Shane Howington shared it. Multiple friends of mine on Facebook shared it. It's all over. I think it's already got over 100,000 views. It was just posted yesterday. But if you haven't watched it, you need to watch it. And he's talking about the fishing industry and sponsorships, pro staff, you know, making a living in the fishing industry. He goes through all of that stuff, and he simplifies it. It's very interesting. Definitely.
Yeah, he was basically piggybacking another bass angler that came out the week before last, talking about the bass fishing industry and the entry fees and how much it costs, and nobody's making any real money unless you're one of the elite anglers that has the sponsorship money to make it.
Yeah, I mean that sounds right. You haven't watched the video though.
You know,
No,
you got
I
a
have
lot
not.
of these guys, and I see a lot of this stuff on Facebook. You know, in their about or on their page or on their fishing page, they're sponsored by such and such and such and such pro staff. A lot of these guys don't have a fucking clue what pro staff really means. If you're a pro staff, they're buying your gas, they're buying your motel rooms, they're paying you to fish, they're buying your boats. Then they're giving you a paycheck. If all you're doing is fishing and you're paying your bills, you're getting paid. You're a pro staff. Because the company gives you a few fucking packs of hooks and a couple of rods, I'm sorry, people, you're not pro staff.
Do you see, Dieter, do you see in the catfishing industry, like the biggest rod company, for example, is Catch the Fever. Do you see them in the future maybe buying some of these smaller, right, like maybe Mad Cats or
Mad Cats is bigger than Catch the Fever, ain't they?
Or some of these other companies, or maybe Mad Cats will purchase Catch the Fever.
Yeah, I don't know how much cannibalism is going to take place in that world. I think what's going to happen is the conglomerates are going to purchase somebody who's got their crap together in that rod world. It may be Catch the Fever, it may be Mad Cats, it may be whoever. I think some of the big, it won't be Pure Fishing because they're getting ready to go bottom up, but some of these other sporting conglomerates will probably end up sucking up some of them more than them buying each other up. I don't think they have the operating capital to make that happen.
Are you talking about like Bass Pro Shops, like Johnny Morris? He bought Ranger. He bought.
No,
Triton. You know.
it'll be company. No, because here's what'll happen. I can tell you what'll happen with Johnny Morris. If he looks at Mad Cats or looks at Catch the Fever and says, "Man, I like that rod," he's going straight to his people in China that he's got on speed dial. Just like, see this Under Armour shirt? This thing is probably 10 years old. It's a great hoodie. Okay, it is awesome. Great hoodie. It was in Bass Pro Shop, and that's where I bought it. Probably 2 years. And guess who started making hoodies just like it? Johnny Morris.
Right.
And they started selling them. And that's what he'll do with the brand. And a lot of them realize that is that if he finds a catfish rod he likes, a catfish reel, whatever, it'll be whatever his house brand is. So I don't see that happen.
That happens.
What's that?
Will that be a good thing if that happens, or
No, it'll be a bad thing for the entire industry. But it'll be a company like Pure Fishing. There's a bunch of other companies that own a whole bunch of stuff that own Traeger and all these other outdoor brands. They'll be the one who buys it or dumps a significant amount of money into it to either make it big or buy them out. So that's what I see happening in that whole world.
Oh,
I
I
don't
know
think
I know what I was going to ask y'all now. You know, I don't know a lot about catfishing, but, you know, like I said, I caught an 81-pound blue, but JR said it didn't count.
when it comes to catfishing, Wes, your major companies are rod companies.
Well, no. What I'm saying is, listen to my question, buddy. Listen to my question. In y'all's opinion, who is the most, I won't say the best or the most, who is the best catfisherman in the United States? Who's the most followed that you know of?
Kevin Van Dam.
Catfishing?
Oh, catfishing.
Catfish?
Yeah.
There is nobody.
What's that
There is
guy I
nobody.
made fun of a while back?
There is nobody.
Catfish Dave?
What's that guy I got scolded for making fun of a while
Catfish
back?
Dave?
He kept saying something over and over again, and I made a video making fun of him. He's
Catfish
a big time
Dave.
tournament. No, he's a big time tournament angler. He gives seminars and what's his name, Dieter? You know who I'm talking about.
I have no idea who you're talking about. And that's
Biggest-
part of the problem.
Biggest name in tournament angling and catfishing.
There is none. That's the problem.
Oh my goodness. Yes, there is. There's a handful of guys that there's the guy that's doing the YouTube videos constantly now. He's trying Chris Souders, him.
Chris
there's-
Connors hadn't fished a tournament in years.
Okay.
What about Zach Royce?
He doesn't fish tournaments. He's a guide.
He's a
I
guy.
know, but I mean, I'm talking about just a great fisherman, period. Popular.
Name him.
Well
Name
known.
him. Dude, I ask this question on guide trips all the time. We got 6 hours to chat, and I always gets around to, hey, can you guys tell me who's your favorite catfish tournament angler? And there's this silence like right now.
Heavyset guy, real southern, real like redneck type.
Me? I mean, I don't know.
Matter of fact, you're one of the guys that lectured me, that scolded me for making fun of him. You said that he accomplished more than I will ever accomplish in my lifetime.
Are you talking about Ron Howard?
No, that's a
Okay.
famous direct.
Ron
That's
pa-
Opie.
Ron-
That's Opie from the Andy
Ron
Griffith
passed
show.
away. Ron passed away several years ago, and he was one of the better tournament anglers that there ever was in the South. But I have no clue.
Okay. Moving on.
Most people, the majority of people, have no clue. No, we're not moving on. We're staying right here for a second because it's a very important point. Nobody knows who these tournament anglers are. You mentioned Kevin Van Dam, Skeet Reese, Gerald Swindle. People at least have a clue, if you're related to fishing, who these people are. You mentioned anybody that's won a couple of catfish tournaments recently. Nobody has any clue who they are. The last kind of like great name we had was Phil King, and that was way back in the day. Phil's pretty much retired from it now. Lonnie and Donnie Fountain, catch some fish now. You know, they're kind of big on the thing, but besides that, nobody knows who they are. There's no
Do
notoriety
you remember when they come
for a
out with
very important reason, and that is because the topic of this whole a little podcast video is social media.
Little,
Those
you don't have to
people
put
are
little now.
totally absent
Hey,
from social media.
no, don't use the word little. Now we got 18 fucking viewers on here tonight. We're not little no more.
we're big time, baby.
Yeah.
So let me ask y'all another question. What do you think? I won't say the best, but what's the difference? Yeah, okay. What's the difference in what makes one better than the other than a catfish guide and a catfish tournament fisherman?
Go ahead,
What's the
JR.
biggest
I know
difference?
you're
What's the
dying to
biggest
start
difference?
talking, so go ahead.
Ask that question again, Wes.
Okay, you got a catfish or striper. We're talking about striper, catfish, anything. You got guides. You take a guide and you can take a tournament angler.
Right, right.
Which one's better and what's the biggest difference? What do you
Which one's
think makes
better?
it
I mean, that's highly subjective. Like, what do you mean better? Better at what?
Well, they're better at fishing.
Better
across
at
the board.
fishing? Better at fishing?
about fishing, yeah.
I'm gonna say a guide, because a guide, his livelihood depends on it. A tournament angler, he's just out there trying to win some money. He's a gambler. A guide is someone whose livelihood depends on. So I'm going to go with guide on that one.
Holy crap. I actually agree with JR on something. In all seriousness, tournament anglers are nothing but gamblers. They wipe their asses with the money it takes to enter a tournament. They could care less about it. It ain't about winning the money. Even the guys that cheat in tournaments, it ain't about winning the money. It's about
It's
getting
the prestige.
notoriety.
It's about that
And
ego.
the I ain't saying guides are better. Guides have a totally different perspective on why they fish and the reason they're out there fishing. Honestly, there's no comparison between the guides, the people that turn, and this is in the catfish world, striper world, crappie world, it don't matter. The people that tournament fish, you know, that are guides and that are looking for the biggest fish out there, they're out there for three totally separate reasons.
I see this comment right here. I got another question for y'all. And this is special to do with catfish because I know catfish are different predatory fish than striper are. But this guy's talking about, and this word here where he said spots. If you go out, this big thing with people like there again, talking about social media, giving up information, spots where you're catching fish.
Mm-hmm.
My biggest thing, I do have to agree with Chuck Timon on this, or Chuck Manny. Fish have fucking tails. They swim, they move. You know,
amazing, and
ain't it,
amazing. Yes,
ain't it? You know, I caught fish here today. You know, is there a reason I caught fish here? They either just wanted to be in this area because there was bait around, or they was just swimming through. You can go back to that same spot tomorrow. You can post all over Facebook. I caught 20 fish right here, bottom fishing off of this point. I guarantee you go to that same
GPS coordinates on where you were parked,
and you won't catch them the next day. So
bingo.
this big
I had the same conversation tonight with somebody on Facebook. They were asking, where are the perch on Lake Wiley? I gave some people some kind of not totally GPS coordinates, but it was, and somebody was like, oh God, you know, you burning places, blah, blah, blah. They're effing perch, okay? They swim, they move. I guarantee you, if I gave you the GPS numbers and you went there tomorrow, you would sit there for 22 hours before you caught perch because it was a narrow time window when those fish were feeding. And that's the thing that, there are some areas that will repeat, but honestly, even in the good places, and I know this from places I got marked on my sonar, it's about a 2 out of 10 trips that they actually produce and work. And it has to be a right set of circumstances that makes it work. So I had a guy years ago that was watching one of my videos, left me a voicemail on the phone and berated me because he knew where I was fishing. He could tell where I was fishing by the water tower and the house on the point. And he went there and he didn't catch any fish. and he thought I was full of crap and misleading people.
Yeah.
What he didn't realize, that video was filmed 2 months before it actually posted on YouTube,
Isn't it
and it was a
crazy?
totally different game.
Isn't it crazy how people will get jealous and what they surely they know that you're out there, you're bored to death. You're out there on the water, you're absolutely bored. You're spending hours upon hours upon hours, and you finally you luck up, you come across some bait. You make a video, you catch a bait, you catch a big fish, whatever it is, whatever content that you decided to edit that day, that particular time era. And people hate on you. Like, they obviously don't know what you went through. If they knew what you went through to make that video happen, there's no way they would be jealous. There's no way they would be hating on you.
I talked about that in a perch video I edited this morning, and I just got back into fishing the past couple of days. And 3 days of fishing, we picked up some perch here and there, and then boom, I filmed the video in 22 minutes, and it's a 14-minute video. It was boom, 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 boom. What you don't see is the 3 days of like picking one up here and there, and then right in that time window, that last 60 hours of daylight, they were on a point, and it was one right after another. And I could give you those GPS coordinates. You could go park on that tomorrow morning, and you would sit there all freaking day. And if you're lucky and they're still there, you'll probably get bit between 4 and 5
How
o'clock.
many people do you think that you lied to them? Because I've had guys ask me. I've went out there caught a bunch of perch. They ask me, "Hey man, where'd you catch those perch? Can you point me in the right direction?" I'll give them GPS coordinates. I literally will screenshot my graph for them, send it to them. It's like, this is where I caught them, and then I'll never hear back from them. And I'm thinking, well, they must not have caught it, and they must not have done well.
Yeah.
They probably think I was lying to them.
Yeah.
We were down at Santee. We were down at Santee. This is years ago. JR, in fact, this is the same trip I caught that 81-pound blue. That morning, that first morning, we went down there, and usually, I don't know how much you fish Santee, but there's usually the perch are usually right out in front of Harry's, or they're right there at the end of the canal, right there past Blacks. That's most of the cases they are.
Yeah.
So me and Nick was out there catching bait, and we caught like 10 or 12. And I said, "Come on, let's go fishing." He said, "No, man, we need to get all the bait we can while we're here." I said, "Man, this bait's always here. We good. I want to go fishing." So we went fishing. And I forgot, we caught a couple of small fish, wasn't nothing that big. And we got back to right beside what's the fish camp in hell? I've been standing there my whole life.
Blacks.
Black?
No, the one way up above Blacks. They're at the bridge.
Canal Lakes.
No, the one beside it. My mind just went blank.
I don't know.
Harry's, Canal Lakes.
It's right beside Canal Lakes on the other side of the bridge.
Santee Camp.
No. Got the real steep boat ramp. I can't believe my mind. And that's the only place I've ever stayed in my life, except when I used to stay at Harry's.
I know where you're talking. Go ahead.
But anyway, so we get back up there, and I dump the bait out of the bait tank. And Nick's, "What the hell are you doing?" I say, "You can leave your stinking ass bait in here to die, leave it running the aerator all night. We'll get in there and catch some bait in the morning."
Eels.
Eels.
Yeah, that's
Thank
it.
you, whoever you are.
Yeah.
So
Best
anyway,
breakfast around.
yes, that without a doubt. So we go back down there that morning. Guess what? We couldn't catch a fucking perch. I went on both sides of that canal. I actually went out in the lake about 100 yards, come back up the middle. I could not mark or catch a bait. So I had to go all the way back up the hills and buy some gizzard shad.
Yeah.
So, and that first day, dude, it was, I dropped 4 times. We had 12 on a sabiki rig, dropped 4 times, had 12 perch. I was ready to go fishing. Those fish are usually there, but they wasn't the next day. I could have told somebody, "Hey, all those baits right down here, such and such." They went down there. That's where I was lying. So this shit about spots, people's getting spots. Hey, you as in such, I ain't in nobody's fucking spot. When I'm on the water, I'm where I want to fish. Don't nobody own those spots.
Yeah, it's like right now, Wiley, you can catch perch on any flat all day long in the middle of the day. They're not stacked up. It's not one right after another, but if you're coming across the flat, they're scattered. Now, if you want to go catch them on sabiki rigs 6 at a time, You got to wait for a narrow time window in a specific place for that to happen. But they're just very scattered right now.
Yeah.
Now, that'll change. I can give you where that is, and you go a month from now, it's going to change. 2 months ago, you wouldn't catch a damn perch there.
Now, do perch have they? I know we call them bait fish, but I don't think they're technically considered a bait fish like a herring or a gizzard shad. Did they act the same way as far as like schooling up, bunching up, spreading out when the light comes out? They'll ball when it gets dark.
JR will tell you, if you know how to fish for striper, schooling striper, take that and translate it over to perch. They're
right.
a cousin. They're a cousin to the perch.
Yeah, they're in the perch family.
They do a lot of the same things. They act the same way. You will find them doing the same patterns. We don't have any stripers in Wiley to speak of. And if you just go out there and pretend you're striper fishing,
Yep.
you can actually catch perch.
They're
You
in
just
the
got to
Marone
use smaller
family.
bait.
Now, a striped bass is not even in the bass family. Did you know that?
That's correct.
Yeah, they're in the
Well,
perch
they're
family.
not in the sunfish family. They're actually a true bass.
No, striper's in the perch family.
No, a white perch isn't a perch. It's not a perch at all.
I
It's in
didn't
the
say a
Marone
white perch.
family. It's in the
I said
Marone
a stripe-
family with
A striped bass is in the perch family. Google
no,
it.
it's not.
Okay.
Striped bass is in the Marone family. It's a true bass, and the
Oh,
mouth
okay.
bass is in the sunfish
Bass
family.
are
One of them's
actually
in a-
sunfish.
One of them's in the perch family, though. I thought it was a striper.
No.
Perch
The
are in the
perch,
sunfish family. I'm sorry. Perch are in the striper family. They're in the
white
same
perch,
family.
but they're
Yeah.
not a perch.
White
They're
perch.
called a white perch, but they're not
Yellow
they're not a
perch.
perch at all.
Yellow perch is a different animal.
A
So,
yellow
yeah,
perch
that's
is a
the
true
one.
perch, and a striped bass is a true bass. A largemouth bass is a sunfish. Guys, it's been a good show. We're going on an hour and 17 minutes. Thanks for coming on, Dieter. It's been a great show. and
Enjoyed it.
We will see you guys next week. Love you, Wes. Love you, Dieter.
Love you too, buddy. Y'all be good.
Good night.
See ya.
Good night.